Hello, everyone, and welcome to Effective IT Management with Device42 and Excalibur Data Systems. So we're going to do a quick introduction of the presenter so you can switch the screen. So my name is Tabitha Ishman, and I am the Marketing Manager of Excalibur Data Systems. And I'm going to let our presenter today introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Caroline Doyle. I am the Senior Product Marketing Manager from Device42. I've been with the company since January, and I'm really excited today to walk through how Device42 can help you meet your ITSM needs.
Okay, so we can move forward. So just a few things before we do get started. The webinar today is being recorded. The recordings will be sent via email to everyone on the line today. Those will be in your inboxes tomorrow. We are going to answer questions at the end in a Q&A session, so you can ask questions anytime during the presentation just by typing them into the chat window. And so a little bit about Excalibur Data Systems. We are a boutique integrator of ITSM and enterprise service management solutions. We were founded in 1998 and have been evolving and growing our services ever since. So we do have two headquarters, one in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and then the other in St. John, New Brunswick. And we work with a team of long-term strategic partners to achieve the best outcomes for our customers' needs and budget. And we're really excited today to be collaborating with Device42. So if you're interested in reading any more about our partnerships, you can just visit our website. And then we can move forward to a few of the services that we offer. So Excalibur Data Systems offers process design and implementation, automation, maturity assessment, strategy and road mapping, ongoing consulting, staff augmentation, share role remote administration, training for the administrator and the user, integrations, self-service portal design, business relationship management, analytics and dashboards, and customized solutions. So I'm going to hand it over to Caroline to tell us a little bit more about Device42.
Absolutely. And before I move forward, just a warning and sort of preface, as we're all trying to figure out this new world of work from home, I am in the exact same situation. So apologies in advance if you hear any barking or babies crying in the background. I will do my best to make sure that doesn't happen, but please bear with me if for some reason my dog decides to freak out. In the meantime, let's talk a little bit more about Device42. So most of our customers find their way to us to address one or two needs that broadly break down into these three categories that you see on the screen. They want to improve how they run the business day to day, such as improving ITSM and mean time to resolution functions, or they have a planned change event like upgrading OS or database server versions, preparation for PCI or SOC 2 audit, or building out of a new environment. And the other category is broader transformation and migration, which very often involves a cloud migration or a data center consolidation. Oh, I'm sorry, one too far. So how do we do it? Device42 uses an agentless discovery method to identify all of the devices, which include servers, virtual machines, clients, network devices, cloud instances, etc., in your environment. When I say agentless, I mean that we don't put a little piece of our software on all of your machines in order to discover data. By having agentless scans, this allows us to find unknown devices that you guys might not actually know are there in your environment. Next, we take that discovered data and use it to automatically map dependencies that exist between them. So this includes network topologies available in our core product, or at a deeper level, we can do application and service dependencies with our enterprise application mapping module. Finally, we do a really good job, probably better than most, of getting data into Device42. But a key differentiator for us and a key measure of success is for us to store that data in a common format that's then able to be made available via a powerful REST APIs, ODBC or JDBC connectors, and bespoke integrations with third-party tools that you, our customers and prospects, are already using today. So as I said before, most of our customers find their way to Device42 attempting to solve one or two problems. As an example, let's say you're looking to modify or upgrade servers and applications. You need to have the ability to answer some of these questions. What do I have? What version is it running? What's it talking to? What happens if a connection is broken, et cetera, et cetera. But having this data enables you to address a range of other common challenges, such as compliance, budgeting, M&A planning, driving automation, et cetera. And what this really means for our customers is that while you may have a particular need to fill in mind today, the information that Device42 provides empowers you to tackle other projects and initiatives with a confidence level that you just really can't get by trying to do this in a manual process. So let's do a sort of quick technical overview. So as you can see here, we have a reference architecture on the right-hand side of this slide. Feel free to take a look at that, but I'm going to speak to it now. So we've taken efforts to ensure that Device42 complies with most enterprise security standards and affords a degree of flexibility in deployment options. First, Device42 does not require internet access to work. Seriously, we are deployed in air-gapped DoD environments, large global financial institutions and banks, and lots of customers for whom the data that we discover is considered extremely sensitive. We get that in the wrong hands, this data could be an entire blueprint of your IT infrastructure and architecture. So we've pre-configured main appliance that can be installed in any number of hypervisors or cloud environments. By pre-configured, what I mean is that this OVF can be downloaded, installed, and ready to discover in less than an hour. Unlike some discovery tools, you don't have to create templates for each configuration item, or CI as we call it, that Device42 discovers. We've already done the dirty work and the sort of legwork to define object categories for things like software, apps, physical devices, virtual machines, and more. So we've really tried to make your life as easy as possible as you get up and running with Device42. Discovery jobs are run or scheduled in the main appliance. All of our scans are agentless, though we do have optional agents for customers who may have a small subset of their environment that have machine level firewalling and they don't want to open up ports. So while we say agents, we also say unless you need them. We totally get that there might be a reason why you need to deploy an agent, and we do have the flexibility, unlike some other discovery solutions on the market, to be able to get into those environments to give you the fullest picture of your IT infrastructure. So the good news about the agents too is that they don't offer additional or different data than the agentless scans. So one is the exact same as the other. You're going to get the same level of detail about the devices whenever you get a scan returned. The main appliance is supported by two collectors, as you can see on this reference architecture. So a remote collector, or RC, and a Windows Discovery Service, WDS as we call it. These collectors allow you to scan complex and really large environments without having to open up ports across the estate. A remote collector can be installed in multiple data centers, microsegments, or security zones to scan locally and pass the data back with only one outbound port open, HTTPS 443 to be specific, back to the main appliance. The remote collector handles all of the scans except for Windows and Hyper-V. Today, though this might change in the near future, WMI scans need to run from a Windows machine, so we have a lightweight .NET based service in the WDS that can run on any standard Windows build. Remote collectors also help us thread certain discoveries that run on a more frequent basis. And this architecture has been deployed at customers with hundreds of thousands of devices across dozens of discrete environments. The discovery scans themselves also have minimal impact on the environment. We've done some testing and we can share some averages with you if you want more information, but scans really are not going to cause CPU to spike above a few percent of what's normally being used. And since we're only gathering metadata, it's not going to put pressure on the network. Finally, we have designed Device42 to have least privileged access requirements. So what exactly does that mean? So let's talk about that on this slide, right? Firstly, all credentials stored in Device42 are encrypted at rest with AES 256 encryption in our password vault. Credentials can even be burned into the vault, meaning that it's really secure. Once you've put a password in, they can literally never be viewed or retrieved again, even by the person who entered them. We also have added measures, so you can set passwords to expire and permissions can be defined with roles-based access and control functionality in Device42. As a reminder, since the main appliance is installed behind your firewall, there's no outside access to these or any data in Device42. We at Device42 don't even have access to it, so there's no call to home functionality. It is very secure in your environment. Finally, Device42 can obtain credentials through integrations to third-party password managers like CyberArk and Microsoft Labs if you're already using those. And again, we are adding to our integrations very regularly. So it's one of those things of if you're not using these, but you're using another password manager, I'm sure in the near future, we'll be continuing to add to that. There are a number of different protocols that Device42 uses to gather data about your environment. You can see all of them here on the right-hand side of the screen, sort of aligned to the types that they relate to. So they are, obviously vary based on the systems that we scan and the type of data that you're looking to obtain. The primary scanning methods are SNMP for network devices and things like load balancers, WMI for Windows, and SSH for Linux or Unix devices. We do try to limit the credentials to their lowest required privileges, while still enabling us to get the data that we need. This is a huge differentiator for Device42 because many other solutions that are out on the market require domain admin on Windows and root for Linux and Unix. Security teams tend to put a lot of scrutiny on tools that require God mode. So this is one way that Device42 makes your life a little bit easier because we don't have that same requirement. It makes it easier to get security approval because we only use read-only community strings for SNMP, and there's no need for domain or even local admin privileges for Windows, and we also are not requiring root for Linux. There are a few WMI namespaces that we do need access to, and for some commands for Linux, we also require sudo, but we do have all of those details spelled out and we can share them with you after the call if you have additional questions. They're also all available. Most of this information, if not all of it, is available on our documentation site. So if you do have questions, you can also look there. The depth and breadth of our discovery is a key differentiator for Device42. You might find a solution on the market that does cloud discovery really well, or Windows or bare metal. We are really proud of the fact that we cover the entire waterfront, and we don't just do the bare minimum. We go really deep. You can see that we cover everything here, from legacy to modern, bare metal to cloud. Many discovery tools are instrumented for modern workloads, but Device42 covers mainframe and mid-range, tape libraries, and older versions of even Solaris or Windows going back more than 15 years. So we have really strong coverage, and that's one of the things that our customers say gives them the best insight into their environment, better than any of the other solutions that they've looked at. So I've been off and on talking about our extensive integrations. Well, we have to have our partners logos slide, and here it is. We have over 30 integrations, and it's due to our powerful REST APIs, our object query language, and ODBC connectors. We have used these integration capabilities to develop a number of bespoke integrations. As you can see, we have ServiceNow, Jira Service Desk, Zendesk, that are available, both in their marketplaces, but also through device42.com/integrations. We also have a very strong developer community, both internally and externally, that have written a number of scripts to other tools that are all available in our public GitHub. So definitely do check that out as well, if you don't see the integration that you need on this slide. So, we're getting towards the end of my time, but I really did want to focus on sort of like why we're having this conversation today. And it is because we really truly are a trusted partner across all industries. Most companies have a logo slide. Obviously, we do too. But the sample customers that we picked here, I think, tells an important story. Many of the software and hardware vendors that you likely use today, such as Atlassian and Cisco, Dell, HP, IBM, VMware, the list goes on and on and on. There are monitoring tools like AppDynamics and New Relic, and cloud providers like Amazon and Google. These are actually Device42 customers. Then when you start to think about large organizations that are very security minded and very complex, they're also our customers. The US Army, the Navy, the Air Force, large banks like Barclays, Goldman, and USAA. These guys all trust Device42 to discover their entire infrastructure and provide really important information on what we discover. And finally, we have a ton of service providers and system integrators that we work with, obviously including Excalibur, but we also work with big firms like Accenture, Atos, Deloitte, DXC, Dell, Wipro, and TCS. Whenever there's a question or you need a partner, these are the types of companies that trust us, and we're one of their preferred technology partners for any sort of discovery, which I think says a lot just given the amount of business that these partners are doing. So, with that, I know I sort of probably breezed through a lot of this. I'm going to hand it back off to Tabitha, and please, if you have any questions, now is a great time to add those to the chat. Tabitha, have we received any at this point?
Yes, so we did have some few questions come in, and I think both of us had forgot to announce that. So we had planned today to have this be a quick webinar because we know that all of your time is very valuable. So this was aimed at a 30-minute webinar, so we're right on time. And so one of the first questions that came in is, how is Device42 deployed? Is it on-prem or SaaS? Sorry.
Yeah, so if it wasn't clear before, I apologize. So Device42 is currently available as an agentless on-premise deployment. As I said, this ensures that your data remains on site, and it helps avoid complicated security approvals as part of the purchase and deployment process. It has, I can just scan back to it quickly. Let me just go back. So here's the reference architecture again, if you just want to take a peek at that. But that's pretty much how we're deployed. We're not sure if SaaS is in our future, but we really feel that on-premise provides us with a competitive advantage, especially because we're an agentless on-premise solution.
Okay, so I think this kind of moves into the next question. Is this really all agentless?
Yes, unless you need an agent. Again, on this slide, so we know that you might have segmented environments for compliance or other regulatory reasons. So we do have the flexibility to deploy an agent if you need it. We find that most of our customers are, for the vast majority of the engagement using the agentless discovery. But we know that when you're looking to purchase a solution, you want something that is going to work not just for your team, but also across your organization, whether you're large or small. And so we make this as flexible as possible in many, many ways to ensure that we're able to fully cover your environment.
Okay, thank you. So
Mhm.
another question that popped in. So what permissions are needed for Device42 to work?
Yeah. So again, here, just going back to it, we do, like I said, pretty much try to limit it down to the lowest level of credentials that are required. Um, you know, Again, going back to the scrutiny that security teams put on, we're trying to make it as easy for you guys as possible. We also, as I mentioned, do have that credential storage. So you can be sure that anything that you're putting into 42 for automated credential usage is going to be very secure. And you can control that through roles-based access and controls as well.
Okay, and we have someone on here asking, so do you know what are the most typical integrations that you've done or will be doing with Sharewell? I know that you had
Off
listed
the
them
top of
on a prior slide.
Yes, so we do have several. Off the top of my head, I'm sorry, I am blanking, but you can find high-level information of what the Sharewell integrations do at device42.com/integrations. We have details on every single one of these with sort of the value prop for each integration, as well as details on where you can figure out how to set up the integration.
Okay, thank you. And then, so we'll send you out an answer to that question, Kevin. And then from John, we have, I already have a SolarWinds NPM. Do you integrate with them?
Um, at this point, I do not believe that we have a SolarWinds integration, but I will check with our product management team to see whether there's anything on the roadmap. There may be some scripts written, but I don't know those off the top of my head just because there's so many of them. So I apologize.
No, thank you. So what cloud services are supported?
Yeah, so we currently support all cloud services in our cloud discovery. However, we do find that the majority of our users needs fall really into AWS, Azure, and a few in Google Cloud and the others. We have prioritized our support around our customers' needs, but we're continuing to add to our cloud services coverage and providing more and more details across all of the services.
Okay, perfect. So that was the end of our questions that came in. I didn't see any more come through. So I think we can just go ahead and move forward with our closing. So I want to thank you so much for giving the presentation. If anyone on the line has any follow-up questions, or I will be providing answers to the questions that came through during the webinar as well, you can contact myself. My email is listed. And I wanted to thank everyone from Device42 that was on the line today. And Caroline, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tabitha, for coordinating this, and for all of you attending. Please feel free to reach out to Tabitha and she'll reach out to us, or you can find me directly at caroline.doyle@device42.com. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us today.